Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Runix and welcome back to War Thunder. Today I'm going to be flying the IL-2 Sturmovik on realistic battles. I'll get right into that. This is not the ordinary War Thunder video. For those of you who have subscribed, this is not the ordinary playthrough with arcade. I'd like to shift over from arcade to realistic battles on my War Thunder videos, but I'll wait a bit. Maybe when I've passed mostly tier 3 I'll start shifting over to realistic, because I like realistic kind of... I play significantly more realistic now than arcade. I can't remember the last time I played arcade actually. This video is supposed to be informative, so on screen, if I have enough faith in my editing, there ought to be a list of things which I'm going to include in this video. I know for a fact that I'm going to include in this video how to use the IL-2, a short history of the IL-2 and some basics about it, how to use your IL-2, payloads, etc. So, we are in Cuban. We are facing the Germans, and I am using my IL-2. So, let's start off with some information about the IL-2. For a start, the IL-2 is a rather heavy aircraft. It's got a decent top speed, but it's a rather heavy aircraft, not necessarily due to its payload, but mainly due to the armor it carries. Now, the IL-2 carries a significant payload. As you can see here, we have 8 132mm rockets and 4 100 kilogram bombs. So, let's enter the game. The omni-purpose rounds are the only decent selection, I think, because we're not trying to take on aircraft, so we're not using... Oh, we spawned in. Oh, we don't normally do that. Wasn't paying attention. So, we're not trying to take down any fighters or anything, so we won't use stealth rounds or something like that of that nature. Oh look, 20 FPS. That's not bad. So we're not worried about that. Now, as I said, the IL-2 is heavily armoured. Underneath, I think it had 10mm armour. That was to stop rifles, etc. If you look at it, it looks like a lawnmower, a fertilizer crop duster to me. Probably shouldn't. It's rather, yeah, as I said before, it's rather heavy. It's not the most manoeuvrable of aircraft. Armament-wise, it's got 8 132s, 4 100 kilograms, 2 23mm cannons, and 2 7.62mm cannons. The cannons, machine guns. The cannons have 150 rounds each. The machine guns have 750 rounds each. I'd like to identify to you a couple of things you need to do whilst you're flying this aircraft. The first priority is to check your minimap for the targets. Now that may sound like a pretty obvious thing to do, but a lot of people don't prioritize their targets. Now the targets you can attack in the IL-2 is basically most of the ground forces. So the way you want to do that is you want to, well, first off you want to survive, and the way you survive is by looking at where the enemy aircraft will take off. Now the enemy aircraft will take off from D3, that's in the top left corner of the minimap, and they will travel directly over A and spread out from between A to B normally. They don't normally travel towards the C because very few people go towards the C. So this tank column, which is at J7, is what I'm going for now. I can't see that J7 tank column, but I know I'm slightly off target and it's slightly to my right, so that's about 1 o'clock. So over there somewhere is my tank column. There it is. Now I can't see that, I just press X, which is my select target button. You may have a different one. To me, I'm sure you probably do actually. For those of you who play more often, I would like to demonstrate how to rocket attack and how to use your bombs. Now the IL-2 is a bit different because for some reason, beats me why, you can singularly drop bombs. You have 4 bombs and you can drop individual bombs instead of having to drop in pairs to avoid absolutely wrecking your aircraft's flight physics. Now this medium tank is coming over the hill, so what we want to do is slow up a bit and get down low and slow. Well, low-ish, maybe not slow. The trees are going to hinder my FPS, which makes this a bit difficult, but that's not a problem. I want to slow up a bit because I'm going to exceed the max speed and fly right over this target if I don't do anything about it. So we're going to zoom in. We see the rocket, the medium tank here, and we're going to wait a bit, and then we're going to press the rockets now. We're going to press and hold. Boom. Look at that. So we fly right over, forget the rest of the tanks. I think I'm being shot at. It's not fighters, that's good. I thought it's fighters. So we bank around now. Oh, it's a 410. I'm only in tier 2. It must be a tier 3 game. So we bank around. This aircraft is not a great turning aircraft. It's kind of like a hit and run. So here we got that AAA. I use both the cannons and the machine guns. However, I have them assigned on separate buttons. I strongly advise you do, because it's normally quite effective for using this and for using fighters. Your 7.62s in tier 3 and above stop really becoming effective unless you've got absolutely tons of them, and they work. I'm at full throttle now to maintain flight. But 7.62s and small caliber rounds are kind of like guidance, really. So here's this AAA. Just going to aim ahead. Spray again. There we go. So you've got to lead your target. All the ground forces normally travel at a set speed. I don't know what that speed is, but once you get the hang of aiming for that speed, it's all good. Now, the armoured cars and so on, I'm going to bomb. My bombs have a 2-second delay to avoid me being blown up, and I'd also like to point out to you that you do not fly into your target directly above it, a hill, because otherwise you'll hit that hill. You can't pull out of it that quickly, you'll just hit it, so you have to find the right way to come around and attack it. Now, dive bombing and attacking bombing are quite different. Attacking bombing, you need to be very precise, because otherwise you may not hit your target. Fortunately, these are armoured cars. I'll slow up a bit, so it doesn't really matter, because they'll blow up with 100kg bombs. Now what you need to do is simply aim at your target, aim slightly ahead if you've got a delay. I'm aiming for the second one. There it goes. I got a hit. It's because I wasn't accurate enough. I'm being shot at by a rather accurate armoured car. Hello. If you'd stop doing that, that'd be great. I'm trying to make a video here. You'll notice that I've lost one of my bombs. Well, I've used one of my bombs. I don't think it actually affects the flight physics. Or if it does, it affects it very little. Next note, do not under any circumstances try and pull out directly up as I just demonstrated. It was kind of part demonstration, part idiocy, because I forgot. But don't do it. You will stall, you will go piling down to the ground at 100 meters, and you will crash. So again, we aim just above, we throw the bomb, and we hit it, because it shouldn't have killed the armoured car, but it was miles back, so it didn't really matter. I'm going to strafe this armoured car this time now, and I'm going to use my rockets and more bombs on more worthy targets, in my opinion. So I want to come in slow for armoured cars and just ground targets, which are going to strafe, which take a while. This one will take a while. Aim slightly ahead. Miss the target entirely. Fly forward. Come back and repeat. Now, my complaint here is that if you have a demanding computer and you're on a tree map, it's going to be hell on earth for you. My aircraft is partially wobbling due to flight physics and partially wobbling due to the fact that it can't cope with the trees, and therefore it lags out and does funny things with the physics. So here we go. I'm not going to zoom. I got another hit. I don't know how many hits it takes to kill an armoured car. As far as I know, quite a lot. So I'm going to come around again. I've got a lot of ammunition. Maybe not the cannon side. I've only got half of my ammunition effectively now, but the machine guns can do it. I've seen the machine guns do it loads of times. Maybe not in arcade, in realistic, but definitely in arcade. Dive bombing works in this way too, but in arcade you have a reticule, so this really applies to realistic and above. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I think I might just rocket attack this for the ease. Now it is about picking your payload. You can pick whichever payload you want to attack a target. So neat. So toasted him. The rockets really missed, but it was just the explosion. So being accurate with rockets is important. It's imperative when you're attacking medium and heavy tanks to be accurate, because otherwise the rocket damage will not apply. It's also incredibly important for bombs to be right next to the tank, as in you can be 5 meters away and the bomb will not damage that tank at all. It just won't. So especially for heavy tanks, as the is that a heavy tank column or a light tank? That's medium. Cool. So for medium tanks, for medium tanks, it's advised that you use rockets or instant detonation bombs. Now, I don't use instant detonation bombs with the IO2 or most of my bombers actually, because if you're flying low, and whether you're slow or not, your bomb will land immediately in front of you, unless you pull up, which means you have to do one run at a time. Now, if you want to do carpet bombing or something of that nature with a heavy bomber at, let's say, 200 meters, and you got and I don't know many I don't know many examples that follow this, but if you got let's say you got 10 250 kilogram bombs. If you drop 5 of those 250 kilograms bombs directly in front of you, your plane will be obliterated. It will be no more, and that is because the bombs will explode and they will rip your wings off with the blast. So, before we ramble on a bit more about that, I'm going to focus on this medium tank attack. Notice how I'm not using machine guns on the medium tanks because they don't work. Medium tanks will just bounce it. So here we go. Coming in real close. Oh, both of them missed because of perception on my part. I'll come around again. Now it's harder to attack side on, but once you got the hang of it, it's not hard at all to attack side on. Get some AAA. It's normally better for people who are starting up to attack head on, where you can encounter the wrath of lots of anti-aircraft. Oh. So, trying to conserve my ammunition, but don't expect to do lots and lots and lots of runs in an IL-2, because normally what happens is your team either dies or you win. So it's normally use everything you have. So I'm going to use everything I have with one of my said delay bombs. Got a hole in my left wing. Oh, that was miles off. So it helps if I actually aim. I'm doing what I shouldn't be doing. The IL-2 is one tough bird. You can take a lot of this anti-aircraft and just shove it off. However, there's a limit to how much anti-aircraft you can shove off. So I'm going to wreck these. I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to come round slowly. Probably should have done it on the other wing, but that's fine. I'm going to absolutely destroy this AAA now. There we go. That's the next one. Okay, I'm running out of cannon ammunition, which means I'm going to have to use my other bombs pretty soon. Well, correction, I don't have any bombs. I'm going to have to use my machine guns for a burst, which is not fun. But most of my oh, hello. The damage on my left wing has disappeared. Damage on my right wing is disappeared as well. Damage skins, people. Interesting and incredibly deceptive. So, I'm going to come around here. Eat cannon fire! Oh dear, it doesn't really like me. So I'm going to pull out of this and attack the next column. If I was going slower that would help, but then again I'd be shot up. No. So I just wasted most of my cannon ammunition on spraying the ground there, but I did get the enemy. rear gunners are good for this. That you get rear gunners on the IL-2M and above, I believe. I can't confirm this because I don't have one. It's hard to pull round. I'm only going at 190. Well, I was only going at 190. Oh, easy enough. So yeah, you can you have a lot of machine gun. It goes through it really quickly. I mean, I've only got 450 now, but you get a lot of ammunition for your machine guns. So open terrain, using your cannons. Closed terrain like trees and so on, don't bother. Tell you what, I'm just gonna hit this column of rockets. Woo! There we go. Ooh, ground strike times 10. That's the last well, there are 2 remaining soft tops. That's the least level armor. I mean, fighters can take them out with just machine guns. So I'm running out of ammunition now. Now would be a good time to return to base once I've totally wasted my ammunition, because IL-2s are pretty much useless with fighting. So what I should do now is come back, repair, and then come back with a full payload for just attacking the medium tanks. There we go. 71 rounds to spare. I've destroyed several, well, I think it's a couple of medium tanks maybe? I've certainly destroyed the first column, and I've destroyed all of the soft tops over there, as far as I'm aware of. So, payload advice when we fly back. Payload advice is, as soon as you can, get the largest available payload, because that enables you to attack the heavier targets, i.e. Tiger tanks and Panthers and King Tigers and all the heavy tanks, IS-2s, etc. that are rendered in the game. Unfortunately, I cannot apply this advice to ground forces because I simply do not know, because I can't use ground forces because it's too laggy for me. It wrecks my computer. Literally, my computer crashes and burns, and the program burns too, because it just can't render all the trees and the detail. And, painful. Next thing to note, your exfil route. Exfil, some of you may say, exfiltration is the word. Now, I am currently over J10. If I had fighter protection, I'd be far more satisfied, but I know that there's few people left on the enemy team, and there's quite a lot of fighters. You can see over D14 there's 2 fighters attacking 1 enemy fighter, piece of cake. I'll pull up slightly. I'm not going to hit these hills or anything, I just want to fly along at the correct altitude, which means I don't crash into the ground. So about there. The 23mm cannon works best with, obviously, I think it's obvious, but ground attack rounds. The machine guns also work best with that similar nature, but the machine guns don't have ground attack for some reason. They have omnipurpose, which is probably the best suggestion I'd give, because not only do they have tracers if you do not know where you're aiming, but they also have a variety of exploding incendiary hoo-ha rounds. Anyway, just before we land, I can tell you that I would like to do more of these videos. Maybe I'll just specialize in dive bombing with one of my favorite planes, the Junkers 87, and one of the variant I have. Currently that's the R2. The IL-2 is quite a good starting plane for arcade and realistic, because, well, it's not a starting plane, but for the attacking line it's quite nice. Next up, maybe I could do with the A20 or the B25. They don't take very long to unlock, and some people don't really know how to use their B25s and so on. So, as we land, I shall explain to you the landing processes. For a start, the landing process goes by slowing up. You're supposed to normally be quite gradual, but I'm coming in from the wrong way for a start, and also I'm not doing gradual. I know that if I turn, I will lose a lot of my speed, your entry speed into landing, probably about 190 kilometers an hour is what you're looking for here. Now the minute you go below 60%, you lose speed quite rapidly. So right now I'm losing too much speed, I think, because when I stick the gear down, that's going to add more drag. Okay, now I've made it over land, it's fine, because when I turn, this is all going to go a bit pear-shaped. So with the IL-2, you will notice you cannot just aim down and expect it to work. You have to aim up because it doesn't really have much lift. So down we go, and the instructor's trying to level me out. I lost my gear. Hit the ground too hard, that's fine. The IL-2 is pretty indestructible. That's fine by me. I don't know what happened to my gear, it just snapped off. Very odd. Haven't done that before. Shouldn't take that long to reload. 30 seconds, cool. So if you have any planes you'd like me to use, then please put them in the comments, that's cool. I will try my best to use them as long as I have them. If I don't have the planes, I can't do it. I shall explain to you the taking off process here. So for a start, you want to aim down. I don't know the angles here. That's about 7 degrees, no, 4 degrees or so. And you want to do this because the back tail adds a little bit of drag. Now if you're on a short runway, you want to go war emergency power as quickly as possible and just pitch up. This runway is pretty long. The takeoff time for the IL-2 is, well, the distance is 450 meters. I've found that most of the time, the moment you start pitching up and get lift is about between 160 and 180 kilometers an hour, depending on the circumstances. So that's how you take off, really. There's not much else to it. Special features of the IL-2, as I said, it's got heavy armor. Say heavy armor, relative to the other aircraft, it takes a significant burst of, let's say, 12.7 millimeters to actually put some damage into this, because it's got armor instead of just made of, I don't know, aluminium foil, really, like the Japanese. Do not try and use the IL-2 as a fighter. Oh, we lost. Use your IL-2 payload effectively with your targets. Make sure that you do not waste your ammunition on targets that you cannot hit. Do not try and go vertically. Make sure you take off with war emergency power if it's a short runway. And well, make sure you don't get spotted, because otherwise you'll be shredded. Oh, I came second place, that's not bad. So, that's it from me. Going a bit croaky now, it's about half an hour of solid speaking. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below, give it a like. Ugh. If you know someone else who may enjoy this video, please share, or just a community that may enjoy this video, please do share. I appreciate people sharing, because it means I get more subscribers, more views, and I have confidence that I'm doing the things that people like. Maybe not the right thing, but things that people like. If you want to see more of this kind of content, at the moment this is a one-off video in my one-off section of videos for War Thunder. If you want to see more of this, then please let me know. I'd also like to shout out to anyone who would like a skin of anything of that kind of ideal. I will make skins for what planes I have. If you want to see a skin, head over to the live forum and request it. If it's been requested already, I'm sure someone will comment and let you know. But if you want me to make a skin for you, and you seem to play War Thunder a lot, and you want something, then do let me know. I have a list of skins that I am making at the moment. It's only 4 long. I'm sure if I actually put my mind to it, I get them finished. It's on my whiteboard list of things to do. So if you want to see a skin, as I said, please do just put it in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next videos. Until then, goodbye.